All right, hello everybody. It's me, Krim, and today we're back with another episode of Star Technology. Um, we've we haven't done too much since last episode, but we have changed a couple things. That's why I'm starting down here this episode, uh, just so I can kind of go over everything one by one. But yeah, without further ado, I guess let's get into it. So, yeah, last episode, I think we ended off with the rock filtrator here. Uh, we've had it running quite a bit. We've made a lot more sapphires than that. We've got this in here, but pretty quickly I set it over to this just because that's what you need to make aluminum. So I'm optimizing for that right now. But I probably will have to build more than one of these in the future, I imagine. But yeah, then I did make that platform a little bit bigger. That's, just for possibly when I need to build more of those or more void extractors. Probably won't be anytime too soon. But yeah, back here I built. Oh, let's go to the other side. But there's a bunch of new. What are they? Water wheels up here. I just, this row here, I just basically copied it over to this side. And that's making enough stress units. How do I get out? Yeah, that was just because we needed a little bit more power. I don't know why I went around that way. But we needed some more power with, having the blast furnace also. That thing actually used so much power. I ended up giving it its own converter off of the whatever this is, the cell, flux cell. I gave it its own converter just because if I had it running off of this line here, if I had it running, every other machine would go completely dead. So yeah, just give it its own line and everything is running smoothly. But this was running empty. So I set these two things up out here. And yeah, that needed a lot of stress units. Because I wanted to run them pretty fast. But, oh, and we did automate these finally, the gravel, sand, and dust. Just, we use these accumulators here. And I tried to use a different type of pipe, some of the Greg Tech pipes, and I put some pumps on here, but I could not figure out how to get them working, so I just used these ones instead. And they're actually not running right now. I took the lava out because the chests were filling up and I didn't want it to, lag my computer with a bunch of random items. So, yeah, we took those down. But if we need more, the lava's in that fluid cell over there. And then right here, I put down a chemical reactor. I don't have anything going in it right now. But since we are making aluminum, I was looking at the MV machine hole, and you need copper cables. And the only way to make them is with liquid rubber and, yeah, the wire in an assembler. So I'm making some liquid rubber in here, and it outputs into this assembler, which then puts the cables in here. I already have a few of them. I made it just and made some just to test if it works, but I have like half a stack. And Yeah, I guess to start the episode off, though, other than the additions I just showed you, I guess I'll make one of these because I should have everything. So we'll make 3 of them. Okay. So processing machines and a laser engraver. I think the processing machines would be good for now. Yeah, so I will need some of these, and then I can actually do stuff with the fluids from the void extractor. So that'll probably be what I try and do today, at least for like step 1 of the episode. But we are going to need quite a bit of aluminum and copper nickel. So I guess I will make a cut in the video here, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes once I've made sure I actually have everything gathered. So I'll see you in a sec. Alright, we're back, and I thought I'd do a quick update on where we're at. So I ended up building another macerator. I think it's this one here. I put it down there to just, yeah, we're crushing up a lot of ores between the geodes, and then I'm crushing up Realgar in here to get the Realgar ore, which is then being sent through the ore processor down here with distilled water, and then I'm getting the Realgar dust is the main thing I'm looking for, and I can turn that into arsenic. Yeah, and then we can make gallium arsenide, which I don't have any on me right now. I've made a little bit of it, but that's going to be an important material moving forward in this chapter. We also just placed down the cutter here. We finally were able to make cobalt brass dust. You mix brass, cobalt, obviously, but you need aluminum as the third piece, and then you get a bunch of this out of it. And you smelt that down. You take the plates and you turn it into, see, like that. And you make the blade. And then you can craft a cutter. And then with that cutter, if you put steel rods into it with distilled water, you get 4 bolts per rod instead of just 2. So it doubles your bolts out, which is pretty convenient because you end up using a lot of bolts. I discovered that because I was going through the quest book trying to figure out kind of what to do for this video, and it was looking like, well, it is looking like I'm definitely not gonna be able to actually do MV this episode or start making really any of those MV circuits. I probably could, but I'm going to hopefully find a way to at least start semi-automating the tier 1 circuits, because each MV circuit needs like 3 of those. So we're just gonna need a buttload of them, and I'm getting tired of handcrafting them. So we're definitely going to try and set up some sort of basic assembly line. But I'm trying to think if I've done anything else. I've made a whole bunch more fluid tanks just so we can have water ones, like for regular water, and we're just making a whole bunch of distilled water now. I have another distillery. I should probably start using that. Place it over here. Need to add another row wires really quick. think I want it to go one higher than that. No. Okay, those just go really high. Okay. So we'll bring this across really quick. I guess we'll just place it up here. Cool. Grab a new water tank for it. I've been using these fluid tanks right now. I'm about to the point where I'm pretty much ready to start kind of automating more stuff. So I just need to make a whole bunch more machines to actually set all that up. So that's going to be something we're working on. Just kind of over time over the course of, I guess, the next couple episodes. Okay, I think that's set up right. Okay. It's making distilled water. All right. Eventually, I did have everything I needed. That I don't know if that came out right, but to build another one of these, but I ended up using some of it to build, I think, that and that. So we're pretty low now, but I do have quite a bit of steel, so it shouldn't be too hard, but another ore factory would be pretty nice. So I'll set one of those up in the future. I will need a place to move it though, because I don't think setting it up right here would work very well. I guess I could, but probably won't. But I want them to be kind of close to each other, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe they'll be useful by themselves as part of production line. So I'll try and get some more factory stuff planned out in between the episodes, but a lot of that stuff just kind of comes to me on the fly. Uh, and you know, it's super easy to take down multi-block machines and replace them. I have the terminal, so building them is super easy. Okay, so this is not pulling. Oh, that's why. Fresh fluid cell. Okay. That. Did I have anything in here? Switch those. Cool. Well, I will. Let's see. I don't know. I guess we'll look at the quest book really quick. So I made one of these. Why? Oh, you know what? It's because I put it straight into the chest. I didn't actually put it in my inventory. So I guess we'll just make another one really quick. They're not very expensive, and I imagine I'll be using more of them in the future, so. Oh, and then I think I put that one in here too. So do that. Quest complete. And I also did make a cutter already. Take that. Okay. Okay. So we have that. The gas collector collects air at circuit 1, which can be centrifuged for nitrogen and oxygen. If you need a lot of oxygen, it's recommended to use a different way. Check processing lines for reference. Okay, so that'll be a useful block too. What is that? Oh, fluid filter. Lazurite, zinc foil, lapis plate. Can I make lazurite with block of lazurite? Okay, lazurite. You get that? Not helpful. Because what? The blue stuff I'm getting from... Oh. The blue stuff I'm getting out of this thing here... That's... Is that lazurite? No, it's sodalite. So what can I do with that? Oh, not a whole lot other than turn it into the ore. Oh, and then you can get lazurite through that. And that's another one that uses distilled water, it looks like. So, send some of that through a macerator. So that's gonna grind up, and we'll throw that in there in a couple minutes. That's how you get lazurite. Cool. So we've got that figured out. Okay, well, I will keep crafting circuits and keep making some new machines, and I will be back in a couple minutes with a new update. I just thought I would show off this machine, or I guess setup I have here really quick, for the copper wires. So basically, you need the liquid rubber to make them. You can't wrap them with the rubber sheets like you do normal cables. So I take just the regular rubber that you get, you know, from the latex that I'm gathering down there. And then with sulfur, instead of doing it in that machine to get the cured rubber, I do it in here and I get liquid rubber, which then mixes with the wires and I get cables that come out. So this machine just outputs the fluid into this one next to it. And then I manually put copper wires in there. But yeah, we get cables out. That's the only way to do it, but I imagine I can use the same setup to make a whole bunch of other types of cables in the future. I don't know if it's actually more or less rubber efficient, but yeah, it's my only way of making copper cables for now, so it's what I gotta do. But yeah, I just thought I would show that off really quick as well. Alright, we're back. Let's see, we've had this running for a couple minutes. We finally got through the rest of the Realgar, and we are crushing up the sodalite now. And we've got a little bit of lazurite, got some lapis, kyanite, some sodalite. I've been looking at the recipes, trying to figure out what I'm gonna need to at least semi-automate these circuits here. And I think I've got it mostly figured out. It's just a lot of, you know, crafting some machines. So I need that circuit assembler. So I'm gonna need a few of these. And then I'm also gonna need like 3 regular assemblers and a whole bunch of other machines on top of that. Or at least a couple other machines, not a whole bunch. But we'll need a few machines and lots of these circuits, so I'm definitely going to... Oh, didn't mean to do that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try and get that done. I guess I'll probably do that in between next episode and now, just because it's getting kind of late and I don't want to be up all night doing that. What do I need to make this? Is it paper? Yes. Do I have sugarcane? Not enough. But yeah, I'll probably try and get that, I guess, set up by the time I start next episode, and we'll have a bunch of circuits coming through automatically. So that'll be really convenient, because handcrafting those is like one of the more time-consuming things I've ended up having to do. I'm gonna need to set up probably a bigger sugarcane farm, or maybe you can grow it in the actual farm machines. I only have one of them still up on the top there, but more of them would probably be good. Guess I don't need that much paper though. And once I get these automated, that recipe I don't think is gonna use paper either, because you don't need it for the assembler recipe for the resistor. Okay, how many of those circuits do I have? 2. It's not gonna be nearly enough. Well, okay. That's fine. Back up here really quick. See what I've got going. Oh yeah, I made a whole bunch of more copper cables. I brought another stack of, oh! Wow, how often do I do that? Let's see if I can make it in the hole. Boom. Okay. Back to business. I do fall off that thing way too often. It is usually right up here too. I'm trying to back up and get a good look at my machines. So maybe I should bring that out more. Maybe it's a sign. Let's see. Got some tin wires in there. Not a whole lot. We've got a whole bunch of distilled water going. Other than that, not too much else. It's probably time for me to shut. How many buckets are in here? Okay, it's 2. But never mind, that's all good. Whoa. Cool. Factory is, you know, kind of messy and unorganized, but there's something satisfying about it, at least to me. I know it's not all my builds are the most aesthetically pleasing, but I don't know. There's something about it for me that's just like, I walk in here and it's like, wow, look at all this stuff that I've built. And it's like running, and it just gets more and more complicated, and, you know, with that, more and more satisfying. One thing I didn't go over is I do have a crap ton of these things now. I've just had this thing running and producing them, and now we have a little over 2,000, so that's good. Actually, I guess since we have that stack in there too, I think we have about 2,100. So that's nice. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody watching this video. I think it's episode 10 of this series already. So that's pretty cool. I guess I don't know how my progress actually looks for 10 episode compared to other people. I haven't really watched. and many other Let's Plays, and especially not any of them like more than just 1 or 2 episodes. And it's mostly like I'm trying to do it, as blind as possible, but that doesn't always, work out. It's modded Minecraft is pretty complicated, and sometimes with stuff like this too, uh, there's some kind of small thing that's super easy to look over that I might be missing, and with that I might not notice it for a while just because I have no idea what I'm looking for because I am such a beginner. So it's sometimes going to Let's Plays and seeing what they do can help me figure it out. Sometimes it doesn't, and I end up just like looking at the quest book and figuring it out anyways. Most of the info, I guess this is a little tip here, most of the info you need ends up being in the quest book. You just have to make sure you're like really paying attention to the smaller details. But there are like a couple things that weren't fully explained that I've had to go online and find, which is fine. I don't mind doing it. I'm trying to do it as blind as possible, but if I have to look up something every here and there, it's not a big problem either. I play games like that. I play like Terraria and Stardew Valley a lot, which are both games that are kind of notorious for being pretty wiki heavy. Um, but yeah, either way, I've been having a lot of fun building all this, and I'm pretty much always trying to plan out new stuff to do in the future, but sometimes I think a little too far ahead, and like I have no idea what it's actually going to look like when I get there. But that's also part of the fun too, is just kind of how my plans end up changing over time. And yeah, I've been pretty happy with it so far. um I just need to get started on definitely automating more. I feel like I've said that the last few episodes in a row. But I've got a little bit of that started, and I guess even now most of my stuff is pretty semi-automated. It's just a lot of handcrafting, machines now and circuits, so I can get more and more automation. So I hopefully we've kind of hit our technological era here where our progress is gonna happen exponentially, because there is a long ways to go. Uh, but yeah, I'm just along for the ride, and I'll be here. I'll take this mod through as far as I feel like it. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun right now. It's getting pretty complicated, but it's nothing I can't handle. I've beat like other complicated games like Factorio and started or fuck, um, Satisfactory. But yeah, so I really appreciate you guys for watching though. If anybody's actually watched the series this far too, we're 10 episodes in now. So yeah, if you've seen all 10 episodes, put a I don't know, leave a just write the cat says hi in the comments or something. I don't know. Something stupid. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who's been watching. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.